Have you ever found yourself seething with anger over something small, something you later realize wasn't worth the emotional energy? How many times have you let the actions or words of others steal your peace, leaving you feeling drained and frustrated? Why do we allow these external forces to disrupt our inner harmony? What if there was a way to navigate life without letting anger control you, to rise above conflicts and keep your peace intact no matter what? Imagine for a moment a life where no one's hurtful words or challenging situations can throw you off balance. A life where, instead of reacting impulsively with anger, you remain calm, composed, and clear-headed. Picture the freedom of not having to carry that heavy weight of resentment and frustration, of feeling light, free, and in control of your emotions at all times. This isn't just a dream, it's a possibility, a hidden secret waiting to be discovered. The answer lies not in suppressing your anger or pretending you don't feel upset, but in uncovering a timeless secret that has been practiced by emperors, warriors, and great thinkers for centuries. Rooted in the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy, this secret has allowed men like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca to find tranquility even in the midst of chaos. The Stoics understood that peace isn't a result of external circumstances. It's a state of mind that can be cultivated through mastery over our own reactions. This is not just another self-help lesson, it's a transformative journey. A journey that teaches you to detach from the emotional triggers that once controlled you, to see the world through a lens of wisdom, and to choose your responses with intention. Every insight we'll explore holds a key that can unlock your freedom from anger and frustration, giving you the tools to develop unshakable inner peace despite the challenges of the outside world. Are you ready to take this journey? Ready to let go of the heavy burdens of anger and reclaim your peace? If so, stay close, because each moment, each step, will bring you closer to a life where your calm is your greatest strength. Number 1. Change your perspective. How often do we find ourselves in the grip of anger, feeling frustrated or upset by something that happened to us or someone else? When life gives you obstacles, don't see them as threats. See them as opportunities for growth. Shift your lens, and suddenly, what once triggered anger becomes a chance to stay calm and centered. We react impulsively, driven by our emotions, and before we know it, we've allowed a fleeting moment to dominate our peace. But what if the way we perceive the world around us could completely change how we feel and react? What if we could shift our perspective to not only control our reactions, but also transform our emotional experience? This is a core teaching of Stoic philosophy, and it holds the key to a life of inner tranquility. Instead of viewing challenges as personal attacks, view them as lessons. A simple shift in mindset can turn frustration into clarity and peace. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic emperors, understood the power of perspective. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful insight teaches us that while we cannot control the world around us, we have complete control over how we respond to it. The events that trigger our anger are not inherently harmful. It is our perception of them that causes distress. By changing the way we view situations, we can master our emotional responses and maintain our peace. Stoicism encourages us to see challenges and setbacks not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. When something goes wrong, rather than becoming frustrated or angry, we can choose to ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can this experience help me become a better version of myself? This shift in thinking can drastically alter the emotional impact a situation has on us. Instead of feeling victimized or powerless, we start to see ourselves as active participants in our own growth, capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Another key aspect of Stoic perspective is the idea of accepting things as they are. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." In other words, our tendency to get caught up in trivial matters, to be upset over things we cannot control, wastes the precious time we have. By focusing on what we can change, our thoughts, attitudes, and reactions, we free ourselves from the grip of anger and frustration. Embracing the reality of life's impermanence helps us keep things in perspective, reminding us that most of the things we get angry about are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. When we embrace this Stoic mindset, we begin to see anger as a choice rather than a default response. It is not a force that happens to us, but a reaction we can actively choose to modify. By shifting our perspective on external events, we disarm the power that anger holds over us. Instead of feeling blindsided by frustration, we step into the role of an observer, calmly assessing the situation without being swept away by it. This change in perception doesn't just calm our minds, it empowers us to take charge of our emotions and live with greater peace no matter what the world throws our way. Number 2, control your emotional reactions. You can't control what others do, but you can control how you respond. Pause, breathe, and choose calm over chaos in every situation. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. This profound insight from Seneca highlights the mind's tendency to exaggerate the impact of external events, particularly when it comes to emotional reactions. Often we let our emotions spiral out of control based on how we perceive a situation rather than what is actually happening. When we understand that our emotional responses are within our control, it becomes easier to detach ourselves from unnecessary suffering. The power to shape our emotional state lies in the way we choose to interpret and respond to life's challenges, and this is where the Stoics offer us the most valuable lesson. Picture this: a person rushing to an important meeting. As the minutes tick by and the cars inch forward, frustration begins to mount. In that moment, the driver has two choices. They can either allow their anger and impatience to escalate, or they can take a step back and reframe the situation. The Stoic approach teaches that while the delay may be beyond their control, how they respond to it is entirely within their power. Instead of allowing frustration to dominate their thoughts, they can choose to breathe deeply, acknowledge that the situation is temporary, and focus on finding calm amidst the chaos. When faced with conflict, remember, your response is always in your hands. By choosing patience over impulse, you turn tension into tranquility. The Stoics believe that our emotions are not automatic responses to external stimuli, but reactions we can consciously direct. By practicing self-awareness, we can identify our emotional triggers and take a pause before reacting. For example, when someone cuts us off in traffic, our immediate instinct might be to react with anger. But if we take a moment to reflect, remembering that the other driver may have made a mistake or is in a hurry, we can choose to release that initial impulse and let it go. Rather than allowing our emotions to dictate our actions, we can maintain control over how we express them, ensuring that our reactions align with our desired state of peace. Another powerful aspect of emotional control is the ability to separate ourselves from the opinions and actions of others. It is common to feel hurt or angry when others criticize or judge us, but the Stoics teach that we cannot control what others say or do. What we can control, however, is our response. By cultivating emotional resilience, we learn to view criticism as an opportunity for growth rather than an attack on our character. This shift in perspective allows us to maintain a sense of inner peace, even when faced with external challenges. We are not beholden to the opinions of others unless we allow them to affect our emotional state. Don't let emotions control you. Take a step back and choose how you want to feel. Mastering your responses leads to freedom from anger. In every situation, the key to emotional control lies in the choice we make in response to the events unfolding around us. The Stoics remind us that we are not powerless victims of our emotions, but active participants in shaping our mental and emotional experiences. By adopting the mindset that we have the ability to control our reactions, we gain a sense of autonomy and freedom. Life may not always unfold the way we expect, but our emotional response to it is something we have the power to choose. Through practice and mindfulness, we can train ourselves to remain composed and in control, no matter the circumstances. Number 3. Enhance your emotional awareness. Tune into your feelings before they take control. Recognize the signs of rising anger. The earlier you spot it, the easier it is to redirect your emotions toward calm and clarity. Emotions are powerful. They have the ability to drive us to make decisions that can affect not only ourselves but also those around us. At times, we let our feelings overwhelm us, reacting in ways that we later regret. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who were experts in mastering their emotions, understood that emotional awareness is key to maintaining inner peace and clarity. They believed that understanding and controlling one's emotions was not only a path to tranquility, but also a way to live a life of virtue. Become a keen observer of your emotions, noticing when anger starts to build. Recognizing it early gives you the power to release it before it spirals out of control. One afternoon, John, a middle manager, received an email from his boss that criticized his recent work on a project. His initial reaction was anger. He felt attacked and belittled. As his emotions flared, he could feel his heartbeat quicken and his thoughts started spiraling into frustration. However, remembering a conversation he'd had with a mentor about emotional awareness, he paused before responding. He acknowledged his feelings of anger, but also recognized that his boss's feedback was likely meant to help him improve, not to degrade him. This awareness allowed John to step back from his emotional reaction, giving him space to respond rationally and calmly. He composed a thoughtful reply, thanking his boss for the constructive criticism and asking for guidance on how to improve further. By enhancing his emotional awareness, John transformed a potentially volatile situation into an opportunity for growth. Understand the root of your emotions, not just the surface reaction. By recognizing triggers, you can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The Stoic practice of self-reflection plays a crucial role in enhancing emotional awareness. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, recommended daily reflection on one's thoughts and actions, encouraging individuals to assess their emotional responses. When you become aware of your emotions, you begin to understand why they arise and how they influence your behavior. This introspection helps create a buffer between stimulus and response. It gives you the ability to choose how to react, rather than letting your emotions take the reins. Emotional awareness, therefore, is not just about controlling outbursts, but about understanding the deeper layers of why you feel the way you do and how those feelings affect your actions. By practicing this awareness, you start to notice patterns in your emotional responses. You might realize, for instance, that you often become irritated when you feel misunderstood or unappreciated. Recognizing these triggers helps you identify moments when you're most vulnerable to negative emotions. At these times, you can use techniques such as deep breathing, pausing before speaking, or even walking away from the situation to collect your thoughts. The more you practice this level of awareness, the more you'll notice when your emotions are on the verge of getting out of hand, giving you the chance to regain control before things escalate. Enhancing your emotional awareness allows you to take ownership of your emotional state. It's about learning to respond rather than react, choosing to step back and evaluate before you let emotions dictate your actions. Through this approach, you gain the freedom to experience life without being controlled by fleeting emotions, as the Stoics so deeply understood. By consistently practicing emotional awareness, you can transform how you handle stress, conflict, and challenges, ensuring that your peace of mind remains intact, no matter the circumstances. Number 4. Accept life and people as they are. Expecting perfection from others only leads to frustration. When you accept people and situations as they are, you free yourself from unnecessary disappointment and find peace in the present moment. The essence of true peace lies in the acceptance of life and people as they are. It is easy to become frustrated when things do not unfold as expected, or when others do not behave in ways we deem appropriate. Yet in resisting the natural flow of life, we only create inner turmoil. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or resignation. Rather, it is a conscious decision to embrace reality, to recognize that we cannot control everything and everyone around us. By relinquishing the need to control life's unpredictable nature, we open ourselves to freedom, the freedom to experience peace, regardless of external circumstances. Life doesn't always go as planned, and people won't always meet your expectations. Embracing reality as it is allows you to focus on growth, not on trying to change what you cannot. When we accept life and others without trying to force them into a mold of our expectations, we allow ourselves to release the emotional burdens that often weigh us down. We become less concerned with how things should be and more present in the way they are. This shift in mindset offers a sense of liberation because we stop fighting against the current of life. Instead of wasting energy on things beyond our control, we preserve our inner calm and focus on what we can influence: our thoughts, our responses, and our attitudes. Accepting people as they are can be one of the most challenging yet rewarding aspects of cultivating peace. We often want others to act in a way that aligns with our personal beliefs, values, and expectations. When they don't, frustration arises. However, accepting others as they are allows us to let go of judgment and criticism, both of which drain our emotional energy. It does not mean we condone harmful behavior, but it means we recognize that we cannot change others, only ourselves. This understanding frees us from the endless cycle of disappointment and helps us develop a sense of tolerance and patience. The more you resist the imperfections of life and others, the more you feed frustration. Acceptance brings clarity, allowing you to move forward with peace rather than frustration. The Stoics believed that external events are neither good nor bad, they simply are. It is our attachment to certain outcomes or expectations that causes us distress. When we cease to demand that life conform to our desires, we stop fighting against reality. Acceptance allows us to flow with life rather than against it, to find peace in the present moment instead of waiting for a perfect future. It teaches us to cherish what we have, to appreciate the impermanence of each moment, and to acknowledge that life's challenges are an inherent part of the human experience. Accepting life and people as they are is an act of self-liberation. It is a surrender to the understanding that we are not responsible for the world's actions, only our reactions. This perspective fosters peace within, enabling us to live more harmoniously with both ourselves and others. By accepting the uncontrollable, we reclaim our power and choose peace over resistance. Number 5. Develop patience and compassion. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. When you're patient, you give others the space to grow at their own pace. Compassion allows you to understand their struggles, helping you respond with kindness instead of frustration. The Stoics believed that true strength comes not from reacting immediately to life's challenges, but from exercising patience and compassion. As Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Patience allows us to listen deeply, understand situations thoroughly, and respond with clarity. When we act from a place of patience, we do not let the emotions of the moment dictate our actions. Rather, we step back and give ourselves the opportunity to process, reflecting on the bigger picture. This pause is critical in maintaining inner peace, as it prevents impulsive reactions and fosters mindful decision-making. In daily life, we are often confronted by individuals whose actions frustrate or upset us. Whether it's a colleague who constantly interrupts, a friend who forgets their promises, or a family member who doesn't seem to listen, the natural response is often irritation or impatience. However, Stoic wisdom teaches us that we must view such moments as opportunities to cultivate patience. By accepting that others are operating from their own experiences and limitations, we can reduce the tendency to judge them harshly. Compassion grows when we see that others, like us, are navigating their own difficulties and doing the best they can with what they have. Patience also involves acknowledging that life does not always unfold according to our desires or expectations. Things rarely go as planned, and when they don't, we are often quick to feel frustration or disappointment. Yet it is in these moments that the Stoic principle of patience becomes especially valuable. By remembering that external circumstances are beyond our control, we relinquish the need for things to be different and find peace in accepting them as they are. Instead of fighting the present moment, we focus on how we can respond wisely to it. This mindset shift reduces unnecessary stress and brings clarity in how we engage with life's challenges. Furthermore, compassion is not simply about understanding the struggles of others, but actively choosing kindness and empathy in our interactions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that. When someone wrongs us or acts in a way that evokes anger, responding with kindness rather than retaliation can break the cycle of negativity. Compassion in these moments allows us to rise above our natural instincts and make the conscious choice to heal, not hurt. It requires a deep understanding that everyone is on their own journey and that their actions often stem from their own pain or misunderstanding. Cultivating patience and compassion leads to greater emotional resilience. The Stoics believed that emotions, while natural, should not control us. Developing these virtues empowers us to remain steady in the face of difficulty, not allowing external events or other people's behaviors to disrupt our peace of mind. As we grow in patience, we become more adept at navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and calm. Compassion, too, deepens our relationships, enabling us to connect with others on a human level, transcending judgments and creating a more harmonious way of being. Through patience and compassion, we create the foundation for a life of greater emotional intelligence and lasting peace. Number 6. Let go of the desire to control. Trying to control everything only leads to frustration and exhaustion. Embracing the flow of life allows us to find peace in what we can influence and acceptance in what we cannot. Control is an illusion, wrote Epictetus. And this simple yet profound idea strikes at the heart of human struggle. We tend to believe that if we can control every element of our lives, every person, every outcome, we will achieve peace. But this pursuit only leads to inner turmoil. When we attempt to bend the world to our will, we are fighting against the very nature of existence. The more we try to control, the more we realize that the only thing we truly can control is how we respond to what happens to us. This shift in thinking is key to embracing the peace that Stoicism offers. The more you try to control, the more you lose your peace. Surrendering to life's unpredictability opens the door to freedom and serenity. The desire to control can feel all-consuming. From wanting to dictate how others behave to orchestrating the exact course of our lives, it's easy to get caught up in the illusion that we can shape the world around us. However, in doing so, we often forget that life is not a series of events that exist solely to fit our plans. There will always be forces beyond our control, other people's actions, unexpected circumstances, and the natural course of time. Letting go of the desire to control these elements allows us to shift our focus from resistance to acceptance. In accepting the uncontrollable, we free ourselves from the perpetual stress that comes with trying to manage the unmanageable. Control creates resistance, but acceptance creates flow. When you let go, you unlock the power to adapt, grow, and find harmony in uncertainty. When we learn to release the need for control, we also free ourselves from unrealistic expectations. We stop holding on to rigid plans and start embracing life as it unfolds. The Stoics understood that we often suffer not from the events themselves, but from the way we resist them. Our frustration doesn't stem from the challenges life presents, but from our unwillingness to accept them as part of the journey. The ability to face life's challenges with equanimity is one of the core tenets of Stoic philosophy. By accepting the inevitable unpredictability of life, we find serenity, even amid chaos. Letting go of the desire to control opens the door to emotional freedom. When we stop trying to control every interaction and outcome, we allow ourselves to be more present in the moment. Instead of being consumed by anxiety over things we cannot change, we can focus on what we can influence: our attitudes, our actions, and our approach to challenges. This shift in perspective allows us to engage with life from a place of peace rather than a place of constant tension. The more we practice releasing control, the more we experience the peace that comes from letting go. This process of letting go is not about surrendering to fate passively, nor is it about being indifferent to the world around us. It is about recognizing that some things are simply beyond our grasp and learning to find peace in that recognition. The Stoics didn't advocate for resignation, but for the wisdom to discern what we can control and what we cannot. True tranquility comes not from controlling everything around us, but from mastering our own responses, from choosing peace instead of striving for dominance. When we stop fighting to control what cannot be controlled, we reclaim our power to live fully in the present moment. Number 7, find humor and positivity. In the face of hardship, humor is a shield that lightens the load and provides clarity. When we laugh, we momentarily escape the weight of our worries, seeing the world with fresh eyes. The Stoics, while known for their emphasis on discipline and resilience, also recognize the power of humor and positivity in maintaining peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius believed that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. In a world full of challenges and uncertainties, our perspective shapes how we experience life. When faced with adversity, humor serves as a tool to shift our mindset, not by denying the harshness of the moment, but by offering us a way to see it with a lighter heart. By choosing to laugh at life's absurdities, we free ourselves from being consumed by negativity, finding joy in the midst of hardship. In daily life, the ability to find humor doesn't mean that we should ignore our problems or suppress our emotions. Rather, it's about acknowledging the situation without allowing it to define our entire emotional state. Epictetus taught that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. A Stoic's approach to adversity is one of acceptance and understanding, and humor allows us to meet life's challenges with an open mind. When we laugh, we release tension and create space for wisdom to emerge, breaking the cycle of fear and anxiety that can otherwise take hold. Life is like a stormy sea, and humor is the sail that helps us navigate through the waves. It doesn't calm the storm, but it makes the journey more bearable and even enjoyable. Laughter, in its deepest sense, serves as a reminder that our struggles are temporary. When we can find humor in a tough situation, we detach from the emotional weight of it. This detachment does not equate to apathy. Instead, it's an active choice to maintain perspective. In times of uncertainty, humor becomes a beacon, guiding us back to a more grounded state. As Seneca once said, "A man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake." By laughing at our own missteps or imperfections, we take away their power, transforming potential shame into self-awareness and growth. In a world that often feels heavy, positivity is not about ignoring the difficulties, but about choosing how to engage with them. Stoics believed that our inner peace is not contingent on external events, but on how we align ourselves with nature and our own values. When we view life through a lens of positivity, we focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our reactions, and our actions. Humor plays a key role in this mindset, as it allows us to release attachment to outcomes and embrace the beauty of impermanence. Finding humor in the small things, even in the face of difficulty, invites gratitude and lightness into our lives. By cultivating humor and positivity, we not only build resilience, but also deepen our connection with others. Stoic philosophy teaches that the quality of our relationships reflects our inner state. When we approach others with humor and positivity, we invite them into a space where vulnerability and laughter coexist. Humor, after all, is a universal language. It transcends cultural and personal barriers, allowing us to see ourselves and each other in a more human light. The Stoics understood that humor and positivity are not just antidotes to suffering, but essential practices in building a life of balance, wisdom, and peace. Number 8. Free yourself with forgiveness and gratitude. Holding on to grudges is like carrying a heavy backpack full of stones, while forgiveness is the act of setting it down. Gratitude, on the other hand, is the sunlight that warms you after the storm, making the weight of life feel lighter. The Stoics recognize that holding on to resentment or bitterness only harms ourselves. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongs of others, but about freeing ourselves from the chains of anger and resentment. When we forgive, we release the grip that past wrongs have on our present peace. By choosing to let go of these negative emotions, we regain control over our own happiness, no longer allowing the actions of others to dictate our emotional state. It's a choice to move forward, unburdened and at peace. Gratitude, similarly, is a powerful tool for releasing the negativity that can weigh us down. Instead of focusing on what has been taken from us or what we lack, gratitude shifts our attention to what we have. In moments of pain or disappointment, practicing gratitude can be transformative. It doesn't ignore the challenges or hardships we face, but it allows us to find value in the experience itself. The Stoics, like Seneca, believed that a grateful mind is a great mind which eventually attracts to itself great things. When we choose gratitude, we acknowledge the blessings, however small, and invite more of them into our lives. Forgiveness and gratitude are not just passive reactions. They are active practices that shape our character. When we forgive others, we demonstrate a strength of character that is unshaken by external circumstances. It's a refusal to let the actions of others define who we are. As we practice gratitude, we are reminded that our lives are filled with abundance, even in times of difficulty. Both forgiveness and gratitude help us cultivate a mindset that sees life not as a series of obstacles, but as a series of opportunities for growth. They encourage us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. In applying these Stoic principles, we open ourselves to a life of peace and freedom. Holding on to grudges is like carrying a heavy burden, while forgiveness is the release that lightens our load. Gratitude, too, frees us from the constant desire for more, allowing us to appreciate the present moment. Together, forgiveness and gratitude create a powerful combination that not only frees us from the past, but also prepares us for a brighter future. They help us embrace life with a clear mind and an open heart. When we free ourselves with forgiveness and gratitude, we shift our focus from external circumstances to our internal state. These practices empower us to take control of our emotional responses, choosing peace over conflict, contentment over lack. By forgiving others, we cut the ties that bind us to negative emotions, and through gratitude, we cultivate an attitude that welcomes positivity and growth. The Stoics understood that by freeing ourselves from resentment and focusing on what we can be thankful for, we unlock the path to true happiness and fulfillment. And there you have it, the 8 hidden secrets to never getting angry with anyone. By shifting your perspective, mastering your emotional reactions, and embracing practices like radical acceptance and forgiveness, you can create a life filled with peace and tranquility. Remember, it's not about controlling the world around you, but about controlling how you respond to it. Each of these strategies is a powerful tool to help you live with greater ease, allowing you to navigate even the toughest situations with calm and grace. Now, if you're ready to embrace these transformative practices and unlock a new level of emotional freedom, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with someone who could use a little more peace in their life. And in the comments, let us know which of these secrets resonated with you the most, or share any personal tips you have for staying calm in the face of challenges. Remember, true peace starts from within, and it's always in your hands. Keep practicing, keep growing, and let's build a community dedicated to living without anger. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.